Tohono Cloud's a world-class business analytics platform that's designed specifically for the hospitality industry. It's entirely cloud-based and accessed via a browser and can be accessed using any device, which means it's mobile ready out of the box. The key thing about Tohono Cloud is not the fact that we're pulling in one data source, it's the fact we're pulling in many data sources. And what I'm going to do over the next 10 minutes or so is quickly run through some of the data sources that we bring in, but I'm focused on one in particular. So if we start our demo, this is Galactic Dreams, which is a demo pub company. The data's real, it was kindly donated to us. And if I go to my overview, this is where a lot of those data sources come together. So you see, we've got EPOS. EPOS is very much the core of this, and the rest of the data hangs from it. But we can see that we have net sales, we've got performance against budget, we've got cost of goods sold. But we've also got labour. So we pull in data from our labour scheduling system. In this case, it's S4, but it could be any other labour scheduling system. So we can get actual labour percentage. Other data that we include in here, Twitter. We could pull social media into Tohono Cloud. We've just got Twitter here, but we could have Facebook or Instagram or others. The point is, this is great contextual data that you can use to look at in relation to any performance trends. If you can spot in here any bad sentiment, maybe about a particular shift on a particular evening, a particular pub, and you can then drill back through and find out, well, actually, did I rota enough people on that night? So as well as Twitter, we've got weather. So we pull weather in here from the Met Office, and we compare it this year versus last year, just to see if that's another contextual reason for performance. The data set I really wanted to focus on was a single customer view. What we've done within Tohono Cloud is pull in data from our loyalty system, also from our table booking system, and from the payment app, where we actually know who the customer is. We also know what that customer purchased and when. The unique customer identifier within the single customer view is tagged against the transaction. So that enables us to do some really interesting things around marketing and really tailoring marketing offerings to our customers based on what they've done in our business already. I'll show you an example of that. First of all, this is an overview of the single customer view. You can see we've got a split by gender, age, the source that they've come into the single customer view, and how long they've been members. We've also got some key metrics against each unique customer. So we've got various bands, age bands and month join bands. The last time they had a transaction, net sales, obviously quite important, number of visits. We've got spend per head. What's the spend per head for that particular customer? Also, the average basket size. So when they trade, how many items do they buy? We've also got RFM in here. RFM being recency, frequency, and money. That's quite an interesting metric because it takes those three things and puts them together into one number. So is a good customer one that spent £1,000? Well, yes. But if they spent £1,000 2 years ago, are they still a good customer? Probably not. So it's about how recently they traded, how frequently they've traded, and how much money they've spent. And you apply a point score to each of those, and that gives us an idea of how valuable our customers are outside the monetary value of just what they've purchased. So we also know where these people live. So we can put a dot on a map. We have the postcode, the home postcode of each of our loyalty customers, or customers in the single customer view. So we can put a dot on that map, and then we can do different things with those dots. So for instance, the size of the dot is based on their average spend per head when they come and visit us. The colour of the dot is based on how recently they visited. So red dots are great, blue dots not so good. So big red dots, very good. So as well as being able to visually see what's going on, we can also use this map to make some simple selections if we want. So for instance, if we have a pub in Brighton, I'm going to draw a circle around Brighton, and I've just selected 42 customers that are in that area. If we go back to our Seen Customer View here, there are the 42. We could export those with email addresses, and we can send them an e-shot quite quickly and easily. And that's just based on their location. Of course, there's other things we can do as well. So if we wanted people in Brighton who are aged between 40 and 60, and also people who may be drunk Merlot. So let's, there we go. Go back to our single customer view. We've got 7. So very, very laser focused. That's loyalty customers aged between 40 and 60 who've drunk Merlot in the Brighton area. So we've spoken about using Tohola Cloud as the segmentation engine for marketing. We can go one stage further and actually pull the information from the marketing platform back into Tohola Cloud. So this is an example of that. We've got another dashboard called marketing, and every time we've made up a marketing campaign, we've filtered our data to get a marketing campaign. That marketing campaign is then tracked against the customer. So a good example of that is we have a marketing campaign here called this year's lapsed joiners. So this is a campaign for people who have been with us for less than a year but haven't traded for more than a quarter. So true lapsed. And the interesting thing is we can go back in and we can have a look to see if that marketing activity has actually encouraged them to come back in. And we could do that by this. Actually, before we do that, we can see the activity date was the 1st of the 10th, 2018. So if I filter all activity on dates greater than the 1st of the 10th, 2018, we can actually see we've got 12 customers. I've done 69 transactions. So we know that one marketing campaign, we generated over £2,000 worth of additional sales. So in summary, Tohola Cloud is about data, not just EPOS data. It's very important, but it's the other data that we add into that data model in order to give us context for any decisions, any insight that we gain. So we looked at labour scheduling. We looked at Excel for budgets. We looked at Twitter, and we also looked at loyalty, table bookings, and payment apps. So please visit toholacloud.co.uk for a full list of connectors.